Cocktail characters, cocktail characters coming to you.
I like when he said, when you shine the light on your inner critic, because a critic is different than a coach.
Yeah.
When you shine the light on your inner critic, it can't live there.
Yeah.
Your critic can't live there anymore. So you have to really, like you said, be that third party observer and really step back and think about how you're talking to yourself.
Yeah.
Your inner dialogue.
It's really important. He talks a lot about observation and examination. Observation, examination, which is that same thing. Take a step back. Are we observing and examining the stories, the expectations, and just the triggers that are happening? Which I thought was really good. Anything else on that part?
I'm just looking at this and going, oh my gosh.
There's so much.
It's so much. What I'd like to do is take bites of these and plug it into my routine now that I've started. So once a week, it's going to be like my thought of the week or my thing of the week to go through and really like try to flesh it out on making a connection to this one exercise or one whatever thought.
I think that's great. He did do a little section on health, which I thought was really good.
I loved that.
The pyramid that he had, I thought was so simple.
It was.
So helpful.
It was.
And so his pyramid was at the very bottom. Our foundation is breath. Like we cannot go without breathing. We have to breathe to live. The next most important thing to living is water. So that's the next step up. Then sleep, then food, then exercise. And so him even just talking through like if people are like struggling with mental health or in life or just feeling overwhelmed, he said, I give them 3 things to focus on in their health and he said a lot of times it'll change drastically. To take 10,000 steps a day, so just moving your body, drink half your weight in ounces in water, and then log everything that you eat and drink in a day. And sleep was, and he was like, and getting a good night's sleep. Like he was just like, there's so many times that you can feel overwhelmed and a good night's sleep will change that. And health is actually really simple.
It is.
And we can make it so complicated.
So complicated.
Yeah.
I know I do.
The other,
if you don't have time for wellness, you'll have to make time for illness.
That was so good. You know how many times I've thought about that?
Me too.
Gosh. The other thing I love that he talked about in wellness was taking time away. Did that impacted me?
It did me too, because I do feel like some of my best production is when I take time away, purposeful time too, not just, I don't know, just go, and even go to a vacation, go, but like purposeful,
relax.
Yeah.
So his rule was every Wednesday, once a week, take an hour and go do something that's relaxing, like get a massage, get your nails done, something.
Take a hike.
Then he said 1 day each week, take a full day off. So full day off each week. And he said he likes the weekends.
Yeah, he said Sundays is his day, I think, because and it makes it easy because it's easy to not touch your phone and worry about work
because other people aren't working
either. And so you have to make a choice to not work on that day,
which can be hard. And not just in real estate. I know there's other things like that, but in real estate it can be hard because it's like people expect you to just be available all the time. 3-day weekend once a month.
That's big.
That's big.
It's planned vacation with reflection. And he said, take your family too.
Yep.
Whatever you want to do there. Visit a new city, staycation, go and then do some reflecting on.
But take 3 days once a month.
Yeah, 3 days once a month. That's a big deal.
It is.
For a lot of people.
And then 7 days every 3 to 4 months.
What?
I loved it. I'm a vacation girl.
I love it too. It's so funny because I have a vacation next week, which it wasn't supposed to be. It was supposed to be like, hurry up and go to somebody's wedding.
Yeah.
And then Jordan's like, I have the whole week off. Why aren't we just taking a vacation? Good. And so we backed it up another 2 days and we backed it up another day.
Yes.
So we're going to be gone like 7 or 8 days now.
I think it's perfect.
It's amazing. Then yesterday, a friend of mine who's just came back from Florida, she goes, I was like, how's your little trip to Florida? She's like, it was amazing and this and that and whatever she said about it. And she goes, when are you going to go with me? And I'm like, I know you've told me, you've asked me to go with you for like 2 years. I promise I'll do it. She's like, such and such date to such and such date. It's only $100 round trip to fly. And I go,
yes,
let me talk to Jordan. And then I went and talked to Jordan. He was like, go.
Yes.
And so I texted her. I took a screenshot. I was like, is this the flight? And she said, yes. And she goes, and I go, okay, I'm going. And she's like, what? And I just said, I'm doing it.
Yes. Is it this year?
Yeah, it's next month.
Yes, I think it's amazing.
So that's going to be my long weekend.
I love it. But those are the things I honestly,
Yeah.
I don't know a time. Sometimes vacations can be exhausting, but I really don't know a time when I've taken time away that's like with someone that I care about or friends or just like family that I come back and I'm like, that was horrible. That was such a waste of time. I hated the whole thing. Like, I always come back thankful.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah, I like it. Well, giving yourself permission to take that time away and be reflective and think about the highlights of the time you spend with people you love and it just really can help with your performance because it helps your state of mind, it helps you relax and physically
it's important.
Mental hygiene, baby.
Mental hygiene.
Okay.
So what were we gonna say about that?
Well, I'm excited because we're supposed to be getting an email with some of these charts on it, but I love the state meter. We get to get it. Okay. The state meter. And I want to do well, there's that one and there's another one I want to do with the kids. I think it would be really fun. Oh, it's further back. It's about anyway.
Yes, this one it would be great with kids. So it shows it's like all these ways that you could describe a feeling. Worried, pleased, at ease, calm, thankful, cozy, desolate, hopeless, despair. All these describing words and circling how you're feeling about it. He said, what am I feeling right now? How have I produced this feeling? Because we produce the feelings that we have. What is it that I want to feel? So then focusing on the chart, where do I want to be at on this chart? How can I use my body, my language to focus and create that feeling? And one thing I wrote down is he said that how we describe an experience becomes the experience. So if we, for an experience, start describing it as hard, it was exhausting, all of these things, then it becomes that, even though it could have been beautiful and challenging, but exciting and rewarding instead of hard. And, like how we describe
what you say matters.
To our own memory.
Yeah. To your memory and to your state of being.
Yes.
And how I like how he says, he had these 4 fingers they put up in an illustration. He's like, so when you're going through and you're thinking about your state, how you're feeling, your state meter, because you have to recognize it, you have to identify it, then you can make a different choice.
Right.
So he talked about how am I breathing? So when you get to that state, like I'm feeling like this, or this is my state right now. How am I breathing? What am I doing with my body? What story am I telling myself? And what state am I in? So that all kind of goes together, and then you can make a different choice.
Right.
You can.
Then I can breathe differently.
I can breathe differently.
Yeah.
I can go move.
Instead of sitting like this with my body, I can sit up straight.
Yep.
I can present myself differently, and that does make a difference.
Yeah.
It's a huge difference.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to having that print out.
Another person, while we were there, they said there's really 2 states in life, pleasurable or educational. So like this is a pleasurable experience or this is an educational experience, instead of saying like
easier and hard or
right. And that's a really simplified way to people are like, I've had really shitty things happen in my life. Absolutely. And we always can learn from something. There's always something to learn from a situation.
Absolutely.
So I thought that was good. Okay. All right. 5, anxiety is huge in our world, I feel like. And he has 5 questions to get out of anxiety. What is it that you're doing that you know you shouldn't be? So is there something that you're doing right now that you shouldn't be doing? What is it that you're not doing that you know you should be? So is there something that I should be drinking more water every day? I know I should be doing it. I'm not doing it. Is there something like that? What is the minor that I am majoring in? Is there something small that you're focusing on that you need to stop focusing on because it's getting too big? It doesn't need to be that big. What am I preaching that I'm not practicing? So the audio not matching the visual. Is that happening?
Yeah. Where am I living in inauthenticity?
Yes. That's a big question. Last question was, what is the uncontrollable that I'm seeking to control? Which is part of what we talked about. And letting go.
And the only note I had from that, literally after writing those questions, is answering all these just takes one thing. Slow down, answer the question. That's it.
It's really simple. Okay. So, okay.
Yeah.
We both, are you on this page? Are you on this one? Manifestation?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so when we both open this page, we talked about this later, because in the class, obviously we're not talking to each other.
No, we actually specifically sat away from each other.
We did.
Yeah, because I think we both came there with the very similar mindset of we walked in, but we were like, see you on the other side.
Yeah, like this is intentional time.
It was.
Yeah,
it was
for
my time
herself.
for me and her time for her.
Yeah.
And it was really nice being in there with mostly people we had no idea who they were or where they even came from. They
was
were from all over the United States.
Yeah, they all flew
cool.
in for it. It was cool.
So Yes, we weren't together, but we both came together on this thought on our way home. We're like driving home.
Okay, so what was our thought on manifestation?
Okay,
is the title of this page.
manifestation. And okay, so we both were like, no, okay, like woo woo,
Woo woo.
kind of like, okay, what you think becomes what it, what is.
Yeah.
Come, think it and dream it, breathe it into existence.
Yeah.
And for both of us, we're both like, yeah, right,
Yeah.
because that's not how I feel about it.
Right.
But the way he's like, okay. And he even really like literally started out that way of,
He even said that.
yeah, he said all those things. And we're all like, and his definition is, and I really appreciate it, the process of printing our desired outcomes into reality by consciously identifying and installing our own intentions. It involves defining our visions, aligning with our values, and consistently reinforcing those intentions until they materialize in our lives. It's not woo-woo. It's conditioning yourself.
Yeah.
It's making choices.
Yes.
And then we all know that what you say matters. We all know how you act matters. But
what you think about matters.
What we think about matters.
Yeah.
So anyways, so I'll let you build on
no,
that.
that's what I loved about it. What you become is what you're thinking about,
Mhm.
because it's what we just said earlier. How you describe a situation, that's how the situation becomes, or the memory of
Yeah.
it. So what we're thinking about really does shape the everyday, how the day was. If I'm thinking all day about negative stuff and how awful this day is, and I'm not going to get home and be like,
Well,
that was a great day,
Yeah.
or like, I'm totally fine now. I'm going to be down. I'm
Yeah.
going to think it's an awful day, because that's what I'm thinking about. That's what my day is going to become.
Well, I think when you talked about anxiety a minute ago, like we live in such an anxious filled world. Even it feels like even since the pandemic, it's like it's doubled down on
Yes.
that. Where people you were like you never even would have dreamed had anxiety and depression issues.
Have
they
them.
formed them during all that.
Yes.
But one of the but that makes sense though, because if anxious people usually have anxious thoughts, and that's why they become anxious. Like maybe they don't
Right.
usually start out as anxious. Not all, but some do.
Right.
There's a lot of people aren't
Yes.
naturally anxious. It's just their thoughts have now manifested into who they are,
Right.
how they act and how they see the world. And so it would take a whole reprogramming
Yes.
to get that.
Which is possible
It's
though. Like our
totally
brains
possible.
are crazy. You actually can
It's
reprogram
our
your brain.
superhuman power. Our brains are so beyond.
Which, it's funny you just said that, because the next thing that I wrote down was the superpower of a human being is our imagination.
Oh, yep.
It
Yeah.
literally,
Yeah.
we walk around with these incredible imaginations, and it's our superpower that we can imagine ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Even at that movie that I was talking about that I watched this weekend. So part of this guy's story was he's ex-military. He's like super smart, and he's a convict, but he was just talking about how humans can live through incredible things.
Mm-hmm.
The main thing that they have to control is their mindset in any situation. He said, I was dropped in a jungle. This is when he was in the military, in the middle of nowhere, and lived off of water and like rainforest plants for 30 days. And he was like, the biggest struggle I had was my mindset. And he said, if humans can keep their mindset healthy and in the right place, you can live through crazy things,
Mhm.
because our imagination is our superpower to get through really anything.
Yeah, and I feel like that, and I think we talked about this possibly in the car, but I've talked to this with other friends that I feel like you kind of stop giving yourself permission as you get older and you mature to have an imagination.
Yes.
Because as a kid, it's huge. Everything's possible.
Yes.
Like this is a fantasy animal. Yeah, right. It's real.
Tell me
because
something
yeah,
different.
exactly. Like, I don't know. And like Evelyn has the imagination of, I can't even, some of the stuff she'll tell me about the stories she writes in her brain, and she'll even act them out
It's
when
amazing.
nobody's looking.
Yes.
I'm like, we as adults have to get back there.
Yes.
I know a handful of adults do stay there, and they
Mhm.
do keep their imagination alive and clear and and it's powerful. But a lot of us don't.
Right. Because you're told that's not real.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
Yes. It's
Get
not
over
realistic.
there.
Just-
Yes.
yeah.
But, and we'll understand, like, we all live in a reality.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And our imagination can actually take us really cool places
Yeah.
if we just let it be free, which is
Yeah.
cool. The energy of done, I think that was one of the most powerful things that I feel like I've walked away with, is living in the energy of a lot of so one of the things we talked about at the very beginning of the first episode of walking through this was like, what would we do if we had $1 billion, right? So this life that we create, what would it be? And how do we live in the energy of that's already done? I'm already living in the day to day with the peace of those things and the slowness of that pace, or whatever, or that company's already created, and I'm living in the energy of it's done. And that's who I am because it's happening. And that has actually created a lot of steadiness in me, like
Peace.
internally, which is really cool. Because the other thing he said, he was talking about 3D printing. Sorry, back to our imaginations for 1 second. He said, put the life you want into your imagination and watch your mind print it out into existence. So like a 3D printer, put it in your head, imagine that is, and just watch as it like you start to see it, some of those things unfold, which is cool.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah. Okay, so then we went into values.
This was where the big work happened. This is the final things we did.
Walking into this, he said, when your values are clear, decisions are easier.
Yeah.
They become the filter that you run questions through, like, do I want to go do this thing? Am I going to participate in that? Run it through your value system, and it's going to make it a really
very clear
easy,
answer.
clear decision. Yeah.
Compass for my decision making is when your values are clear.
Yep.
So then we had to do an activity, and there's like this list of like 100 words. All kinds of words.
This is a great activity.
This is the one I specifically want to print out. This is the one I very, very, very much want to do with the kids because I loved, we had to pick 5, and you can make up your own. 5.
I mean, there's probably,
I think there's 100 there.
More.
6, 7, 14, 15. Yeah, there's 20-ish, 20, 40
per
60.
Oh yeah.
So like 100-ish.
If this is something that you would want to do, so there's a like email us or text us and we can I think we could probably
forward it to you.
And you go through and you circle the ones that resonate with you.
And you line through the ones that don't.
Yep.
Until you kind of narrowed it down to the 5. 3 to 5, he said, is pretty typical.
It took me a long time to get down to 5.
It didn't take me too very long.
I love that.
I mean, there was the last 2 I kind of had to finagle.
Yeah.
Because one of mine, there was 2 directions I wanted to go, but then I merged them together and made one.
I love that. Well, and
it's allowed.
It's allowed.
It's
and
allowed.
There's a word that I came up with that wasn't even on here. So
Exactly.
I think you had one too.
Yeah.
But what's cool about this is so you go through and you pick like what are the 3 to 5 values. And again, this can be a rough draft if you want it to be. What does it mean to you and how will you live it out?
Yep.
And because one person could pick the same value word, but then what it means to them and how they live it out could be different than the next person. So it's really important to do that part of the exercise too.
So what I decided to, as one of my projects, I each of my core values, and these could change, but I feel like these are pretty spot on as my core. I mean, I'm 45. I have some ideas of where I'm at, but I think they could change. And I decided I was gonna, because I try to do personal study, like through the scriptures, personal study projects every so often, and try to dig in deep to certain like stories or fruitage of the spirit, and like just kind of dive deep and unpack it and make connection. And so I decided that for the next 5 months, I'm gonna unpack one of these a month.
That's a great
and like
idea.
make a connection scripturally for myself so that I can, I don't know,
I love that.
just add some more depth to it, I guess.
Yes, it really is. It was cool to go through and think what's really important to me, and as I start to make decisions and moving forward in life, do these align with that? Which is really cool.
Values in practice become virtues. Consult these when it's decision making time. Always make sure I'm disappointing the right people. Did you think?
I wrote that down. You will disappoint people.
Yep.
Just make sure it's the right ones that you're disappointing.
And he had a great example, which we don't need to go into. But I mean, but his value was clear. Whenever a choice came, and would have been a really hard choice because he really wanted to do this thing and he really wanted to do this. Yeah, like it's two very.
Yeah.
And it was like core value.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Because he had a coach say to him, he was like, man, what should I do? And the coach was like, well, it's a good thing your values are clear. And he was like,
done.
I knew exactly what I needed to do in that moment.
And then that turned
That's
into
cool.
the creed, right?
Yes. Okay. So whenever we started to walk into this, I was like, Clive Creed.
Yeah, I know.
But it was actually really
pretty
powerful walking through it.
It was. I actually got emotional on both of these last things, which of course I do because I'm emotional, but
I did too. I think I got a little bit more emotional on the very last thing that we'll talk about here in a minute. But
I like one of the things before you get into this.
Yeah.
When you show up unprepared, you end up carrying other people's baggage. Don't give pain a voice. And when you have a creed, when you put your values into a creed, which is basically, we can go through that, but when you do that and you make it like so sounded down that you're prepared. You're prepared for the hard stuff. And you could go back and review those things.
Yes.
To just reconfirm, yes.
Yep.
Filter it through that again.
Well, I had written down other people end up carrying your baggage. And I think either way it's true.
No.
Because when you show up unprepared, either you're going to end up carrying
Right.
something
It
or
could
somebody
either-
else is going to
yeah.
have to pick it up for you. And either way is like, no, thank you. I'd really
Yeah.
rather not.
Yeah.
So with the creed, he said, essentially it was, do I have a description of how I intend to show up in the world?
Mhm.
And that he had gotten one from, was he
A
a Navy
military-
SEAL? And he had the opportunity to read through this guy's creed. And he was like, it was just so specific on who he wanted to be, how he wanted to show up in the world, that it was kind of a filter, like, this is the filter for the life that I'm going to live. This is how I'm going to show up and interact with the world. And it's actually really powerful.
Mhm.
So he had a list of all these questions to just kind of prompt and think through what's important to you, who's important to you, how do you want to interact with these things? And so to kind of get our brains going with that.
Yep.
And that was really important. And he also said, so in doing this, mine is very much a rough draft on my creed. He said, something is done not when you can add to it, but when you can't take anything away. So I feel like I need to go back through and
For sure, same.
edit some things out. So, okay, do you want to explain the last thing, unless there's anything else on the creed?
I was just kind of, I like too, what he did on that once he had his creed set up is he recorded himself in a video
Yeah.
and then he would listen to it
Yeah.
again and again. So that basically it was you didn't have to go find where you have it written down.
Yeah,
and
he just listened.
You just listen.
Yep.
So, and then once you have listened to it enough, you know it. It's memorized.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same on that creed. I was like, okay, this is interesting. But honestly, it really helped me to focus in, which is the point. Okay, so the last thing is write a letter. Where will I be in 10 years? And so the very last thing we did was write your 10-year goals letter. Remember that life is always a work in progress. So don't feel that it has to be a masterpiece. It's important to get your thoughts and wishes down on paper. And so it was very long. I could have kept going, but and everybody kind of handled it a little bit differently, which was really fun. We had to go back and share with groups, and I was not prepared for that. And so
was not prepared.
it was like, and then of course you have to read it out loud. And so then I can't even talk because I'm reading about my family.
Right.
Yeah. And it's about your spouse or your person, about your children, about where you want to be, what the things you've done in the last 10 years and how it's got us to this moment.
Yeah.
And all the memories you've made with friends, family, and your person, and all the things you've done, the places you've been, and the houses you've paid off, and
Yes.
maybe a change in work or not. I mean, just all these things. And so it was tremendous, and it's really important to read it, share it,
Mm-hmm.
and then speak it out loud, because it's so, and he talked about this. That's why we read it out loud, and it's so powerful once it's spoken.
Incredibly powerful.
I still haven't shared mine with anybody.
You haven't even with Jordan yet.
No, he didn't ask, and I haven't offered.
You were supposed to share it with me, but then you were
But
driving
I
and
was
you couldn't
driving.
read.
And you didn't ask. You
was
got out
I
of my car and I said bye, and you didn't. I listened to yours. I'm just kidding. I'm giving you crap. I don't care.
Read
No,
it. Just
read it right now.
Right now for all these people.
Yeah. It was really powerful. And
Mm.
he had us do that in the other class we were in. It was similar, but it was like 90 days out or something
Mhm.
like that. I think that's what we did, right?
The 10, yes.
Oh,
but
okay, it was
this
10.
was
This was 10
so like
years.
imagine how old are you gonna be in 10 years?
Yeah.
Write into your letter yourself now. What's everything that's happened in 10 years?
Yeah, and then you say, I am 55. Like for me, I am 55 years old.
Yeah.
So is Jordan. Brady is 28. Evie is 23. And then it's like immediately like
It was crazy. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really powerful.
It was good.
Take time to review your life. What's
Yep.
important to you?
Yes. Rituals of review. And so my share
I love this.
is that the two things I've implemented this week, and I don't even know, it was because I keeping promises myself.
Mm.
And I knew that I wasn't going to like get a new exercise routine going or anything like that in this time period right now. So I had already started journaling again because we had to for another thing I was doing, and it's part of the process. So I was like, I know I'll feel better if I just
Yeah.
write my crap down every day.
Yeah.
How I'm feeling, what I've done, what I'm going to do, whatever.
Yeah.
And I like one of the gals that we were in class with. She's like, some days when I'm having a hard time being grateful, she's like, I just start writing names down of people I love.
I love
that I'm grateful for it. She's like, and I have 27 animals, and I'll sometimes write
just
every
do
single
that.
animal down. It was so cute. I liked her a lot.
I do too.
She was just a cool chick. And so writing that or every human in your life that you're
Yeah.
like, and because when she's like, by the time you do that, you cannot help but have a smile on your face
Yes.
and feel
grateful.
feel grateful about the things, the people and the
Yeah.
pets. And she's like, I have this many goats and this many dogs. She's like, so I got a lot of
Yes.
names to write down.
I loved it.
So that was huge, and I've been really, really good with that so far. I just really need to stick to it because I know I want to keep that promise to myself. And the second thing I did, which has nothing to do with anything in here per se, he might have mentioned it actually. He actually did and I didn't write it down, but I already was like, I'm doing this when I get home. My phone is out of my bedroom. It's out. And I pulled the alarm clock that I bought a year ago saying, I'm not going to have my phone in my room anymore. And I didn't do it. I actually did it. I set it back up and I learned how to set the timer on it of the alarm.
Smart.
And
you're probably sleeping better.
I hope. We'll find out.
That's amazing.
Know. I don't really get on my phone too bad at night.
Yeah.
Not too bad. There's nights that I will do reels for 15, 20 minutes, but I know it's bad for you.
Yeah.
And I know it being in the room is bad for you.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, just get it out of here.
Yep.
So anyway, 2 promises I've made and so far kept.
I love that.
So
that's amazing. My main thing that just this season I'm walking out of is just living in the energy of done. Like it's felt like there's a lot of undone things in my life, and some of them are still a ways out on being done. And just like, but I can't, living in the energy of it being undone it's chaotic and it's creating unrest inside of me. And they're going to be done at some point. Like at some point they will resolve. And so I'm just going to live in that energy.
So you're just, so you think about and you imagine how it's going to feel to sit back and be like,
it's just going to be done.
It's done. It's taken care of.
And even just thinking that has made me feel more peaceful.
I should do that with my house projects that are undone in my house.
Just
sit back and think, I don't have to climb the stairs to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night.
No,
I feel bathroom's so remodeled. Peaceful.
It's totally done.
It's totally done.
Speaking of,
cocktail.
I looked this up. Para tequila.
Para is pear.
Pear.
Ah, so we did a twist on one of our first and favorite.
Our first loves. Tequila.
Ranch water, but like a fall version ish. I do think this was just me and Chat came up with some ideas, and I pureed some pears, like canned pears.
Yeah.
And tequila, some lime juice. But I do think that a stick of cinnamon, a little splash of cinnamon. Simple syrup would be fun.
Yeah. Make it a little folly.
And I did use Reposado tequila to give it a little more depth, but I do think it needs a little something else so maybe I'll make it again.
Yeah.
And we'll add a little something to it.
It's a good sip, but yes, to make it folly, I think you need
So it recommended the cinnamon situation, and I just didn't want to do it.
We didn't want to do it. We said no.
But
and
now it's not a regret.
It's a choice we made.
It's a choice, and it's a learning experience.
We're a third party to that happening.
I was sitting back and observing as if I'm a third party and thought, that's good, but let's do better next time. Let's try something new.
Oh my gosh. Our email's on the podcast.
Yes.
Please email us if you've put in any of this into practice or you are doing any part of it. We would love to hear and know or comment on or send us a message on Facebook or on Instagram. We'd love it.
Speaking of messages.
Stop right now. What?
I'm so proud of us. We've next leveled this week. I don't know if y'all follow us on Instagram. We had our first hater while we were at this.
While we were here.
We had so much fun together.
We did.
And we
had a hater.
We had a hater, and it was like I actually screenshotted it and I sent it to our podcast text thread.
That's great.
And I sent it to Jordan, and Jordan's like, "You've made it." And Jordan, my husband, not Jordan Freed, he doesn't care probably. It's very confusing, I know.
Yes.
Anyway, I was like, I don't even care that she was rude. It's so awesome.
We interacted with her.
We did.
It was great.
And I sent like, "Hey, like levity, man. Like, it's."
Listen, we
stalkers
don't
are bad. Stalkers are bad, but it's kind of funny.
I can't believe it.
It's funny that we think it's funny. Anyway.
It felt like a notch.
It did. Level up.
Hater.
Yes.
But respond with kindness, and I feel like we really did.
I think we nailed it.
We loved her.
We just let our fans and our followers nail her to the wall.
That's it.
That was a choice we made.
As a third party viewer.
No, I think it's great.
My gosh. No, it's good. We love it. Okay.
Love it.
Ding.